Thank you guys so much for tuning in to The Couch. I have a very special guest, Chawa Lilith. Thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you, Austin, for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Now, I was really excited to have you on today to talk about belief. When do you start to believe in yourself?
It's a funny thing because, for me, it was always music. So, making music and being music and singing and doing all these things. It's all about our minds and how we work and perceive the world, and we can make it easy for us or we can make it hard for us.
Yeah.
And whatever it is that I put my attention on is gonna be more, is gonna be amplified. Being in LA, being able to be in LA, living what I wanted to do, kind of dreaming about it as a kid, and it's crazy because I realize how much we are the creators of what we want and what we experience in our life, and
the captain of our ship.
The captain of our ship, no, for sure. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's definitely that. And I honestly, my biggest doubter was always myself. And if I can, and I'm still working on it, and we all, especially I feel artists have a lot of things, a lot of doubts, a lot of struggles, but it's literally about us being stepping into that role of knowing that you're your biggest issue. If you can get ahead of what you're doing, if you can step up for yourself and if in front of yourself and be, this is me and this is cool and I'm good, and it's literally easier. Life becomes easier. So I feel looking back at my life and saying it is belief that always made me do what I do, comes from maybe growing up and experiencing some resistances that I had in my environment and my family and friends and whatever. I literally don't have the right to blame anyone, and I don't want to blame anyone because everything that happened to me happened for some reason.
What's remarkable about you is you take ownership for everything that's happened in your life, the good and the bad, and you say, this is my life, this is my experience, I'm going to make the best out of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes you a star.
Oh.
That's what makes you sparkle.
Yeah.
Because you refuse to burn out. You refuse to let anything consume you, overwhelm you.
Yeah.
You're with it. You're all in it. You are it.
Yeah, you have to believe in yourself, and yes, you have to expect a lot of yourself, but you also have to be knowing that it's not about stressing yourself to a point where you cannot live up to your own expectations.
Wow, that was really powerful for me because you might have this too, but especially for me, I try to do as much as I can, and I overburden myself with trying to accomplish everything on this to-do list, and I say, I'm going to do it today, I'm going to do it all today, but I can't do all the, I probably could do all the things if I really put my mind to it, but if I can't, I shouldn't beat myself up about not getting everything done that I want to get done on that singular day.
Yeah.
That I don't have to conquer the world in one day.
No, for sure. Beating ourselves up is the most time waste that we can do. Literally. Because the world is such, there are so many people out there, the society is based on competition, it's based on people just going crazy about what they have to achieve and images and things that they want to live up to and think they are not and they have to be, but you can only be you, and you can only be your best self. And if you are your best self, there's nobody you have to compete with.
Yeah. I honestly feel that. And I think people will try to sell this idea that there's the competition factor. The only competition there is with yourself, getting to know yourself and one-upping yourself, doing better each time. Yeah. And then at the same time, you're going against yourself in other ways, but if you're following your true purpose, what your call is, what you know is right in your heart, and you'll always know the right thing to do, it's usually the hardest thing, but also the easiest thing to do. Just listen to yourself, follow that, and you will be victorious, you will be happy with the progress you're making and doing the best thing for yourself and for what is right for everyone else.
You have to do your things. You have to, if you're an actor, you have to like study these roles. You have to study these characters. You have to study, like you have to put some effort into it, because if you don't put effort into it, it's easier to complain.
You're so driven. And to an outsider looking at you, they think, oh, I want to be like that. I want to be that focused, goal-oriented. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, there's so much I want to do. I haven't done everything I want to do yet. But to other people, I think they think that you're extraordinary for everything you've accomplished thus far.
I mean, I think I and that's the thing that I also start doing right now, to give myself this credit, because it's a habit of us also, or it's like common to be like, oh yeah, and thank you, and I don't know, and yes. But yeah, I mean it is, and to a certain point you have to step up, and if you take on responsibility for the things that you accomplish or you not accomplish, you also have to be able to allow yourself to accept the rewards. So, because sometimes it's so hard for us to take on.
I like that. Yeah. Allow yourself to accept the rewards.
Yeah, because it's like, people are always
on to the next thing.
Yeah, and I feel it's really sometimes a hard thing for people to say, yes, I did that and I did it great, because I think a big issue in most of the people is the self-worth. So you don't feel like worthy, and then if you don't feel worthy, you cannot you have to own that. You have to own worthiness to be able to receive all these rewards, but also haters and whatever comes your way, because you have to know your own worth, not in terms of I know my own worth, but in terms of know what you own and know why you do what you do.
I think the only reason that anyone might ever be a hater is because they want to love themselves and they don't know how, or they don't know who they are to love.
Yeah.
They haven't taken the time to love them, to even love themselves.
Yeah.
And this whole thing with acceptance and validation, I feel like a lot of us, we want to feel that we're good enough, that I did this, I did that, somebody loved me. But all we have to do is, like you said, be yourself. Have you found that being yourself to be the most liberating thing? Has it been just incredible?
In the moments that I do it, yes. I do work a lot with myself, because I feel like there's so much that I can be more of in terms of being myself every minute, every moment, every time, all the time. And that's why I, for example, I started, having friends or coming from an environment where everybody always was like, yeah, but what if your plan doesn't work out? What if that doesn't work? What do you do then? And I just got so sick of it, because something inside of me was always driving me to do it. I was always like, music, that's my thing. That's just it. Whatever I did in my life, I always...
It's who you are.
It's who I am, yeah.
That is yourself. The music is in you.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, you are. And I tried when I was smaller, I tried different things, trying to do this and this.
Because
and this.
you fed into their fear for your life.
Yeah, and you take on if if you're lucky, you don't take them on.
Yeah.
But if you're sensitive, or if you whatever, I don't know. If there's something and you take these beliefs on, it's your job to overcome them.
Oh, say that again.
It's your job to overcome them.
It's your job to overcome them. If you take them on.
Yeah, if you have a belief that does not serve you or serve your purpose in life, you have to overcome that. And if you cannot overcome it, you have to work on overcoming it every day. Wow.
That's so good, because honestly, I think that we all have some belief system or value, whether we're religious or spiritual or non-believing in anything. We all have some kind of compass, moral compass, or something, some kind of standard or guideline that we hold our lives to, even if it's just for ourselves.
Right.
Because that's how we survive in this world, is by some kind of system of rules that we put in our lives and in place in our hearts. And I love that you said that, because whatever belief you adopt or accept, you're going to have to practice it, and you're going to have to speak about it, or stand against whatever it is that belief is, or the one you don't have. And you fight for your belief, but your belief is the thing that will keep you as you are. It will keep you becoming more of yourself.
Yeah, and that can be a good way or a bad way, depending on what kind of belief you have.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
I think it's just helping you come back to who you really are, whatever that belief is, based on what you choose, how you choose to see the world,
Yeah.
how you choose to live in the world.
I mean, that's the thing, like, if you're an artist and you think, like, you're a victim and you cannot do this and you cannot do that because of that and you cannot do that because of that, and, like, you have, like, all these arguments, and I'm, like, literally speaking, like, I'm personally speaking also to artists, I speak to everybody, but I, like, from my own life experience, it always was around that music for me and around that art of, like, finding myself and finding my belief in myself, you know, because...
Do you love yourself?
I do love myself.
And you've had to work at it every day?
Yeah, I reprogrammed that belief because I did not believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are so many people who don't love themselves, and that's the basic thing. Like, if you don't love yourself, like, you don't have that, you might have the drive, but it might, like, tear you apart because you don't love yourself, and everything you do kind of leads to something where you sabotage yourself, or where you sabotage your career, or where
and
you're
the
not
sabotage comes from not thinking that you deserve something better than the life you're living now.
Yeah.
I hear it from people. People probably share their stories with you like they do me, just openly, freely, whenever, randomly. And
people love to talk about themselves, yeah.
I love that though. I love hearing about their lives because it does give you perspective, and you think, oh, I don't know how you survived that, but you're doing your thing, and it helps you, it heals you in a way.
Yeah.
But what I've learned is that it's just such a humbling thing to listen and to love other people, and in loving them, you love yourself.
Yeah.
And in loving yourself, you can love them better.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you cannot love other people if you don't love yourself. And that's also a reason, like, if somebody, you know, going back to the haters, like, if somebody hates on you, it's probably because they have some issue that you you push that button, and that person comes at you and projects, like, whatever they have going on you.
Okay. Talk about where you come from and what it means to be in LA, so people understand how big of the world you've created for yourself.
We have a lot of artists in our family, and I grew up with everybody telling me, don't become an artist because you won't make any money. And you will not be able to live off of that. And
that was a thought you grew up with?
That's a thought I grew up with.
Wow.
And I just started making music because it was what I expressed. You know, that was my calling.
That's what came out naturally.
Yeah.
That was your calling. Mm-hmm. That was your calling. Mm-hmm. What age did you know that was your calling?
I think I started singing and making music, when I was like, I don't know, like 4 or 5.
Did you have the excitement of performing for people, or was it just self-expression, just expression of self?
In the beginning, it was just an expression of self.
Because I love performing for people. I love running a show.
Yeah, when I was like 4 or 5, I think I did not even know what a performance was. So
or maybe you did.
Maybe I did, because I can remember that my mom, she took me to a concert and I was like 4 or something, and it was like a rock concert, and I just fell asleep.
Okay, yeah.
But you know, that's how much home I felt with music.
Whoa, okay, I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, different perspective.
Like, so
I was thinking maybe you didn't like it then.
No, I did.
Comfortable in that.
I did. I love that.
I will say, every time I've seen you on stage, whether you're streaming it or I see you in person, you feel so at home.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You make me feel, the audience, the people listening to you at home.
Really?
When you're performing.
Yes.
That's such an act on its own. I think that's what a true artist does. Makes you feel like, oh, you're home. You can be here with me in that space.
Thank you for telling me that, because I love
that. Besides the music being great. And let's talk about your music. So the songs you write, the songs you perform, what's your style and where did that come from?
Yeah, so that's a big thing for me. That's one of the reasons why I came to LA, or one of the reasons why I wanted to come here, because I allowed myself. Berlin was, and that's a little bit of the story, right? Berlin was, for me personally, it doesn't have anything to do with the other people. It literally has to do with me. But Berlin was always kind of like limiting me. It was like boxing me in certain ways where I could not break free for myself. And so I looked and I searched and I went to different places. I lived in Spain, I lived in New York, and I went back and forth and tried to like escape that feeling of being boxed. But it wasn't about the place. And yes, LA is a different place, and it is about the place to a certain point, but it's also about myself, because I could honestly, as I came here, and I will come to my music in 1 second, but as I came here to LA, I had the choice of either going and doing the same thing that I did in Berlin, music and artistic wise, you know, to make a living, to be able to stay here and and go that path, or to take a jump into the unknown.
LA for me has really become home, but I love what you said about home is where you are. Home is in your heart, where your art is, which is inside of you. And when you find those people who support you, it just feels like it all comes together, that you really can have it all, that you don't have to fear going to the place where you know you should be. And sometimes you are there, you're in that place and you know it for yourself and you're fine. Other times you know you have to go into the unknown and do the thing that scares you.
Oh yeah.
But wouldn't you invite people to do the thing that scares them the most?
Oh yeah.
If it's beneficial?
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
And even if it's a bad outcome, is it really ever a bad outcome? I just love what you said about how you see the world. If you change your perspective, you can always be a winner.
Yeah, you create it. Like, you literally live being either the owner of your life or the victim of your life. And there are like so many people, like all these spiritual people who say like life is not happening to you, it's happening for you and stuff. But you know, I think it's really what you make out of it. What you make out of it. And sometimes there are days where it's easy, sometimes there are days when it's hard, but you always have to listen to what is in here.
What's in here for you?
For me,
what is it saying?
It's saying, keep on going. One of my biggest idols is Muhammad Ali. And he always said, the champ is here, the champ is here. And even if he didn't believe it, he just said it. And being so bold and just owning a room, going in there and telling the world you're freaking ruling the world, you know, just like owning this room and being like, I am the one, I do this, I got this.
Wow.
That
I have goosebumps throughout my body.
No, yeah, and that offends a lot of people, because a lot of people are not in that space. A lot of people don't allow themselves and they're not there. So the more you step into your power, the more you might offend people by just doing that which they don't. And that might lead to maybe some rejection, maybe some feeling uncomfortable, and maybe, you know, not knowing, will they like me or will they not? But you cannot care too much about who's gonna like you or not, or whose life you're gonna change or not. I mean, yes, you do it to change lives, and it's literally that, for me, that balance between being so passionate about changing lives, but on the other hand, stepping into that power and living that on a daily basis by stepping into my power. That's I think the biggest challenge for me at my.
Do you feel powerful?
Yes. And the thing is, yes. And the thing is, sometimes.
Do you feel loved? Do you feel encouraged?
Yeah.
Do you feel faithful, that you have a sense of faith?
Yeah, always.
What would you say to people who have been through some of the most horrific things?
Yeah.
What would you say to encourage them?
I think the most important thing is always, no matter how hard or how easy life is to allow yourself to come back to love yourself. To love yourself, to forgive yourself, and to forgive everybody and everything that happened. Everybody has another way of living through certain things that happen to you in your life, and depending on what your calling or your life purpose is, I think you work through it in a different way. But it's always, you only find inner peace, or you only find overcoming in a true way. I mean,
and do you want to be your past, or do you want to be your purpose?
Yeah.
Do you want to be your past, or do you want to be your potential?
Do you want to be a past, or do you want to be a future? Yeah.
Do you want to be your past, or do you want to be phenomenal?
Yeah, exactly.
We just have to keep getting better.
Yeah.
we have to keep going, and we will get better and change more lives.
Yeah.
So for you, what is it that drives your soul more than anything else?
That's a tough question. That's the question I'm working on right now. I think I know it in the deepest of my soul, but I'm still looking for the most clear, most easy answer. But it is literally believing into myself, and I think my soul-driven purpose is to experience all these phenomenal things that I know that I can create. So when I come to that level, I mean, and I get, like every day, by knowing what you create and all these things, and that includes so many things. That includes helping other people. That includes me living this artist life of really loving every step of the way being this artist, and then also changing people's lives with my music, and then also heal people. And I don't even am a doctor, but I still can heal people.
It has medicinal purposes, it's music, it's powerful.
And then also experiencing this world that we live in, this 3D game in a different way.
I know, I was just thinking that. Just driving and being present to the moment, because I've really tried to work on this, being present, because I'm always thinking, I gotta get here, I'm always rushing out the door, grabbing something, maybe sometimes forgetting something and then going back in and then just like speeding through traffic and then getting in an accident, but just go.
Just enjoy the ride.
Taking a second to think, wow, this is amazing, I'm in this body, and I don't do drugs, I don't drink, so I think I stay pretty grounded that way. I'm not high or anything ever, but it's just, you really take a second to think about how phenomenal you are. To be here, to be living and breathing, and the things you can do in this world for other people. It gets me really emotional.
Yeah, exactly.
And I start crying and I don't know why.
And it's so good because this is the passion, that moment when you feel this way, this is how we should feel every single day when we do what we do.
Up.
Not being dependent on this person or that person, or how do I make him feel, or how do I make her feel, but living from that passion, because if we can do that and live from that passion every day, we're gonna make changes. That's how we make the changes, by being so passionate, And that's maybe the thing, just living this day from the most passionate way every single day and enjoying it as much as we can, as long as we have it,
I've enjoyed talking to you so much. I really want to thank you for being on the couch.
Thank you for having me.
And continue to shine your light.
Yeah.
We are going to hear a song from Chawa.
Yay.
And again, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's a truth that lies within each and every one of us, and we know we're on this planet for a purpose, like the stars and the sky and the sun and Mother Earth. We're rotating, we're vibrating with life, 'cause we're all one, we're all united, and we can see what lies beneath. If we open our heart, it will ignite us, and we know who we truly are. It's our birthright to create, 'cause we're equipped with all we need to create heaven on earth. Comes with the way how we perceive everything, everyone, every person we become. We're striving to embrace the next change, 'cause we're all one, we're all united, and we can see what lies beneath. If we open our heart, it will ignite us, and we know who we truly are. So if we dig deeper we find more love and more unity.